she's struggling to make a decision, y'all. Hey y'all, you seen the title of the video. Your girl is back again with another story time. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, I'm back again with part 4. This is part 4 of the war series. If you have not seen my face or this your first video, please go back to the other videos because none of this is going to make sense if you have not seen the other parts. And I know y'all been waiting for it because I really I've really been wanting to get to what I've been wanting to get to, but in order for this story to come together and when I reveal the revelation at the end of this story time, y'all are going to be like, ah, that's why all these important and small details were very important, y'all. So in the last story time, oh, also, if you're new here, like, comment, and subscribe. Do that for your girl. If you're new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back and watch the previous story time. In the previous story time, I told y'all I just found out that she basically sent pictures of me to her uncle, pictures that I did not approve of. A lot of y'all was speculating in comments and things like, what type of pictures was it? I was not nude, y'all. I was in a 2-piece bikini, but I was fixing myself, and she sent this to her uncle without my knowledge. I found this out because I went through her phone. To this day, yeah, weirdo, I know you watching this video. Her name is Waris, y'all. But all of y'all been calling her a weirdo, so let's just change her name to Weirdo. I know you're watching this video, and this is her first time finding out that I went through her phone and found out that she sent pictures of me without my consent to her uncle, which I'm not surprised, y'all, because she's currently using my photos all over the internet. A lot of y'all have sent me stuff and told me that she's currently posting her own trips, and she's using my face, and she's using people that went on that trip that don't even like her, and she's promoting it as if we're still associated, and we're not. Before we get deep into this story time, let me go ahead and do a quick little disclaimers, because a lot of y'all was commenting, well, not a lot of y'all, I just seen a few comments where somebody was like, this is why you don't call everybody your business partner unless you're making money with them. One, we definitely were making money together. I would never characterize somebody as my business partner that I was not making bread with, so that's debunked. And then 2, y'all was like, Asia, I would have returned to sender. She would have been back to the United States. Flight would have been canceled. I don't know if y'all missed it in my previous story time, but I did not buy her flight to Indonesia. She booked and she bought her own flight to Indonesia, so I had no control of canceling her flight or anything like that. And I'm a very compassionate person, and I do try to see the good in people, because I'm not gonna hold y'all. I know a lot of y'all thinking like, oh, the trip was terrible. No, it was just like she would do something and I'll be like, ah. And then she'll do something else and I'll be like, ah, like she'll just be doing stuff and I'll be like, ah, like something is wrong with you. Like this is not normal. This is not normal behavior. And I know it's all fun and giggles and we like to characterize a lot of things as weird and peculiar. Y'all know how we like to use words, but I honestly think there was a deeper issue. And I realized this on, I want to say it was like day 3 on the trip. Like she would do abnormal things and I would just be like, oh, that's weird. But I started to notice that this was far beyond weird. I honestly feel like she had characteristics of borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder. It was so much deeper than her just being weird or her just being a vindictive type of person. It was so much deeper than that, y'all. And I'm going to get into day 3, what happened on day 3 of the trip, why I feel like it was deeper than that. And I had to move with grace for my safety, because some of the stuff that she was saying and the things that she was doing, it wasn't normal. It was like beyond weird. Like it was just a lot. But let's go ahead and get into it. So like I told y'all, I'm in my room and it is like maybe like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I just got done transferring everything, and I go through the messages and I see that she's telling her uncle, this is Asia. I see that she sent the picture, because I scroll, baby, if I see my name, I'm scrolling all the way up because I want to know all the tea, like what is going on. So I'm reading y'all, and I get to this message, and I wish I would have had the screenshot, but I already felt like I was invading her privacy, although I did see my name, so I felt entitled. But I felt like I was invading her privacy, so I did not screenshot this. But it was a message, and the message read something along the lines of, I really want to impress Asia. I really want her to be proud of me. And I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. Like, I want to prove to Asia that I can do this. That's exactly like what the message read verbatim, y'all. She stated that she wanted to prove to me that she can do this. And when I seen this, I'm like, okay, 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 like she wants to work for me, she wants to make this work, but she has some deeper issues. People with borderline personality disorder, they do things impulsive. They have just like impulsive and bipolar mood swings, and they're very sporadic, y'all. Like you can't trace the things that they do. I honestly feel like she had a deeper issue, and all of this is alleged, y'all. I'm not trying to diagnose nobody, but when I mentioned some of the things that she was doing, it was just very abnormal. I have never seen anybody act like this. So anyway, I see the message, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say anything or mention anything to her because at the time I didn't know how she was going to react to it. But I definitely noted that she stated that she was trying, but at the same time you violated me because you sent your uncle pictures of me. So now I'm feeling hella self-conscious around her, and I'm kind of just feeling like I need to just watch my back. And another thing, I knew I needed to watch my back around her because before we even went on this trip, before I have any of my trips, y'all, I always do a meeting maybe like a week or two before the trips, just so me and all the girls can meet each other, and we're talking on Zoom. And I remember during this meeting, I prepped her for the meeting. At this time, I had already been in business for about a year, so I was pretty used to the meetings, how they would go. I would just run through the itinerary, let the girls know that we're doing, let them, like, basically they should have a clear understanding what's included and what's not included in the packages. We would go over all of that, and if they have any questions, that was like the objective and the point of the meeting. And during this meeting, I think we were like at the end of the meeting, and I casually mentioned, I was just like, I don't know y'all don't know me. My biggest thing is just communication. Long as you communicate with me, we gonna be good. If you don't want to go to an excursion today or you want to sleep in, all you gotta do is put it in the chat and we good. Just let me know. Like, I'm not one of those people that get mad because you want to sleep in. I'm that's just not me, y'all. I'm a very hold on. The girls on Patreon dropping receipts as we speak, baby. That is crazy, y'all. And it's so, a quick little interlude, y'all. It's crazy how many of y'all have, since my first story time, how many of y'all have reached out to my DMs and told me that she also reached out to y'all and tried to send her friend shots. And I do not believe that y'all are lying. So I wasn't the only one that was targeted. I was just the only one that she had a motive with, and she had a reason to go this far. But it's kind of crazy that she, let's Asia, stay on track because y'all know how I get. Anyway, y'all, during this meeting, she was like, I end up telling the girls, I was just like, me and her name, I'm gonna say Wars, but if you on my Patreon, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I was just like, me and Wars, we don't know each other. We're meeting each other for the first time. Or I don't, wait, did we do our meeting while we were together? No, I was home. Were we together? No, I was home. I think we were leaving out a few days before the trip because I told y'all we flew in a week before the rest of the girls. So I was at my apartment and she was in her truck because I told y'all she's a trucker. And I mentioned, I was just like, we don't know each other. We got to know each other through these few months. Like, the best, my policy is communicate. Just communicate with me and we gonna be good. And I stated that, and I didn't think anything of it, y'all, because that was the truth. I don't personally know her. I just know her from the internet. We've been talking through the internet. We've been talking on the phone prior to the trip, and that was all it was. Once we got off that Zoom meeting with those girls, she asked me like for feedback, like how did she do, because this was her first meeting that she had helped host. So I said, you did good, but I noticed that you do not listen. Like, she doesn't have critical thinking skills. People would ask her a question and she won't answer the question. Like, somebody can ask her, oh, what time do we need to be at the airport? And then she'll just be like, oh, I'm gonna be at the airport around this time, and just start talking about herself. Like, it was just very weird, y'all. I told her she wasn't like a critical thinker, and some of the questions she didn't answer the right way, but it was okay because that's why I was there to accompany her on the call. And then she was like, you kind of put me on the spot. You kind of told everybody that we didn't know each other. Why did you tell them that we didn't know each other? They didn't need to know that. And this is a red flag now. Clearly it's a red flag now, but at that time, y'all, I didn't see it as a red flag. I apologized to this girl. I apologized to her. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt some type of way about me telling the girls that we personally didn't know each other. I was just trying to let them know, like, to see, like, the way we talking, they may feel like, oh, we've been friends or we've known each other for all this time, but we haven't. We just communicate. Like, communication is the key. That was like my main objective by saying that. I wasn't trying to make you feel any type of way. So she got mad at me for telling the clients, the girls that was going on the trip, that we didn't know each other. So that was a red flag in itself. Fast forward back to where we're at. I wake up the next morning or whatever. I give her phone. Mind you, y'all, I don't mention anything about me telling her uncle, that me noticing the message that she sent to her uncle, me seeing the message that she was saying that she wanted to impress me, she wanted to make sure everything was well, and she wanted to prove to me that she can do this. I didn't mention any of that. I just basically noted it. That following day, y'all, we was kind of like going with the flow. We were getting content during this time. I'm gonna put some of the clips in here for my members on Patreon, but it wasn't like, it was a very like laid back week. A lot of y'all are like, oh my gosh, Asia, I'm so sorry you had to deal with this. And y'all have to realize this is a story time. I'm telling y'all all the horrible things and highlighting the negative things that happened, but I was not miserable, y'all. I definitely was not miserable. I definitely enjoyed my time in Indonesia, but like I said, it would just be little things she would do and I would just be like, what are you doing? Like, why would you say that? Like, why your brain wired the way that it's wired? Like, she would just be saying stuff that it would just throw me off. The following day, we didn't have much planned. She told me that she wanted to do a flower pool. She was asking if I was going to pay for us a flower pool. I didn't see the point of paying for us a flower pool. I'm going to post a picture right here. If you don't see it, it's because you're not on Patreon. Because a lot of y'all are like, Asia's always saying she going to post pictures and she don't put it in here. Girl, it's not in there because you're not on Patreon. But I'm going to put it in here. Y'all know these infamous flower ball. I think it's called a flower bath. It's a flower bath pool situation they do in Bali. Is very popular, and she was asking if I was going to get one for us, and I told her no because I purposely didn't see the point of it, y'all. They're literally, I think they cost, the one that we had, it was $150, but before I came to Bali, for us to get one done at the villa, they quoted me like $400. It's literally them just spelling out your name or whatever you want them to spell with flowers inside water, and you jump in it and you mess it up, and it was $400. Like, they basically booked that just for pictures and stuff. If you want that, that's cool, but I personally said I wasn't spending my money on it because I just didn't see the value in it. And I was like, but if you want it, you know, you can get it or whatever. And she was like, oh, how much was it, while we were at our second villa? So I was like, oh, I'll reach out to our concierge and I'll ask them how much it was. They end up getting back to me and they told me that it was $150. She was like, how about you book that for me? Do you mind if I do a business shoot? Mind you, she had been asking me this before we came to Indonesia. She was like, oh, do you mind if I'm doing my own vlogging for my YouTube channel and I'm just doing my own thing? I told her no. I am a girl's girl. I don't see competition. And this is another thing while all of this was so confusing, y'all, because I never was trying to be in competition with her. I feel like it's enough room for all of us to eat. Like, if you also want to have a travel company, say that. Just be very transparent, but you just won't be working with me simply because it's a conflict in interest if we're doing the same thing. You're working for me and you told me that you was a videographer and photographer, but you didn't own a camera. That was something, y'all. So during this trip, I didn't, mind you, I was very graceful. I didn't spaz out because of that. When she told me that, y'all, I'm gonna post the pictures in here. I helped her. I spent 2 hours taking professional business photos and pictures of her. I told her once the girls arrive, you get content for my business, Travel Babes, and after that, if you have free time to get content for your business, if you need me to even help you get content for your business, I will do that for y'all. These are the pictures that I took of her. I took 2 hours taking these pictures of her. She had my camera posing as if it was her camera, and I didn't even mind none of that. I encouraged her and everything, and during this time, she was just you know, uplifting me and praising me over it, and she was just saying, Asia, it's very admirable that you even allow this. Like, you're not like the jealous type of person. This is what she's telling me. She's like, that's very admirable of you for even allowing me to like do this or whatever. So keep in mind, y'all, I paid for the money for her flower bath, but she was gonna refund me for this. But In my mindset, y'all, I would have just ate the $150 just because I was already paying for the entire trip. After we got done doing that, we probably did that for about 4 hours, and then I ordered us room service. We ate, and then while we're eating, I went ahead and asked her, can I get like some of the footage off her phone, because she was recording footage of me on her phone and I was recording footage of her on my camera. Like I said, y'all, my phone had lack of storage at this time, so a lot of times I would take pictures on her phone, and she was also hired as the videographer and photographer for this trip, so this was already understood. It wasn't like I was asking and begging for her phone every 5 minutes for no reason. This was understood that you were the videographer and photographer, and you are also the co-host for this trip. So anytime I asked for her phone, it shouldn't be no attitude. This is understood. This is understood, y'all. I asked for her phone because it was time for me to like transfer some of the content that I had took of myself and her, and I was transferring it to my phone, and I was also sending it to my Dropbox. As I'm doing this, y'all, I kid you not, to this day it still does not make sense to me, but her album, her phone was also new at the time, so she didn't have like a whole bunch of like pictures and stuff on her phone at the time. Or maybe she did, but it literally rolled to the top. Like her sex tape popped up. And I know y'all like, Asia, what? It went from you sending pictures to yourself to her sex tape popping up. Yes, y'all. As I'm sending pictures over to myself, like I'm selecting pictures of me and her that we just got done filming, and I'm sending them over to myself and to my Dropbox, and I click to send it over, and it goes directly to the top of her gallery. Like it goes to like the first video and pictures of her gallery, and it's literally her sex tape. I can like see in the small little preview, it's pretty much her sex tape. And I'm like, hey Warris, you probably need to private these videos or hide these videos. I don't know how this came up, but I'm sending myself the content, as you can see, and your sex tape, your sex tape pops up. She is in an 18-wheeler truck on all fours sucking her man up, and I'm like disgusted, y'all. I'm like, you need to hide this. And you know, a normal person, I would have been like, give me my phone. Give me my phone. I would have been so embarrassed for anybody to see me and my man's business. But y'all, she wasn't embarrassed at all. She took her phone, like looked at it, clicked on the video, and she was just like, you see the way I'm throwing it back? Do you see the way I'm throwing it back? Yeah, don't act like you don't want to join. I'm just like, ew. Like, no, I don't want to join. Like, do you see your man? Her man looked like a black and mild, and a black and mild that I would not smoke. If I had 10 kids and somebody handed me him to smoke, I would not smoke him. If you on Patreon, I'm gonna find a picture of her man and I'm gonna put it right here. Her man is not cute. So when she said this, and I'm sorry if you see this Warris's man, because I'm sorry, you're gonna be taking all type of strays during these videos, but she did it, I didn't do it. But anyway, y'all, she sends me, shows me the video or whatever, and I like swipe the video down, and I'm just like, ew, no, I wouldn't want to join. And I was like, on a real note, you do need to hide this, because you could be taking pictures and videos of the girls, and they may want to go back and look at the pictures and videos that you taking them. And I do not think it's, also y'all, if y'all hear something in the background, it's currently storming right now, so if y'all hear something, that's what it is. But you could be taking content of the clients, and they can say, hey, let me look at the pictures, and then all of a sudden it scrolls to the top of your phone, and now they're seeing your sex tape. Like, that's unprofessional. So could you hide this? I mentioned it to her, y'all. She was thinking it was kiki, funny or whatever, and she was just like, no, why you all in my business? How did you even get up there? I said, I don't know. I'm literally sending myself the pictures, and wabam, that pops up. The video didn't pop up and play, y'all, but it was just like a preview of the tape, and then she clicked on the tape and like was like, you want to join, don't you, or whatever. So keep that in mind, y'all. I see that, I tell her about that, and that's that, y'all. I sent all myself the pictures and stuff over. I think me and her end up just like enjoying the rest of our day. We jumped in the pool, we were just playing around, we end up taking a nap, and then later on that day, I'm trying to think, where did we go? I'm probably gonna have to look at my phone. I believe we went to, I want to say this is the day that we went to the monkey sanctuary. if I recall correctly, we went to the monkey sanctuary this day, and we also had the koi pond this day. Like, we had a long day. This was a really long day, y'all. We did like 2 to 3 excursions this day. And I recall on the way coming back from our excursion, it was late. It was like maybe going on like 7 o'clock, and we had a very long ride. Like, we had like an hour and 30-minute ride back to our villa. And I'm not gonna hold you, I can be very playful and facetious, and I do be playing too much. I do be taking serious situations and making them funny. And if you know me, you know me, y'all. So this we were in the car, y'all, and we were on the way back from our excursion, and we were both sitting in the back seat, and I don't know what, my brain was just like, play a trick on her, play a prank on her. So she's kind of like dozing off, and she's sitting right beside me, and I look at her and I'm like, Waris, wake up, wake up. And she's like, what? And I'm like, the driver is going the wrong way. We've been in a car for 2 hours, and we going the opposite way of the house. We're going the opposite way of the villa. So she wakes up, and she's like leaning back up, and she's like, what? You're lying. You lying. I said, no, I'm not lying. And y'all, the GPS, because I think I called this trip on Grab, and it's pretty similar to Uber. Like, you can see the trip live that we're going in the direction of the house. But I knew she had just woke up, so I knew she wasn't gonna like ask to see, but she was just like, let me see, let me see. So I show her the phone, and I'm thinking the prank finna be over. Like, she finna see that we going the right way. But no, y'all, she didn't see that. She a little slow. So she's just like, oh my gosh, where are we going? I said, I don't know, but I think I'm finna get out the car. I think I'm finna get out the car. We've been in the car for 2 hours, and we're going the opposite way of the villa. She starts yelling. She taps the driver and is like, sir, excuse me, sir, but she said we're going the wrong way. Are we going the wrong way? And God, when she said this, I lost it, because if we was really about to get kidnapped, why would you let him know that we about to get kidnapped? So y'all, I'm in the car and I'm just hollering. I'm dying laughing, because I'm just like, if you really thought we were getting kidnapped, why would you ask him if he was kidnapping us? That's like you about to get robbed, and you make an announcement and let the intruder know that you know that they in the house. You're like, excuse me, are you messing with the lock on my door and you're about to rob me? Like, who does that, y'all? So I'm in the car and I'm bawling laughing, and I'm like, Waris, I stop. I'm playing. Because the driver is like, 10 minutes, we'll be there in 10 minutes, And y'all, don't come from me imitating him and the accent, because y'all know anytime I imitate somebody, my accent is the same. I don't try. We just happen to be in Asia, okay? Y'all already know. It don't matter the color, the race of the person. If I imitate somebody, it's going to come out that way. Anyways, the guy is like, huh? No, we will be there in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we pull up to the house, we'll be there in 10 minutes. I'm like literally dying, and I'm just like, sir, she don't know what she's talking about. She don't know what she's talking about. And I'm like, girl, I'm playing. She's like, okay, don't do that. Don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me. And she starts like fake hallucinating, fake crying, like just like breathing heavy or whatever. And I'm just like, my bad. Like, my bad if I took the joke too far. My bad. And she basically kind of just like breaks down, and she just like, and then she just kind of like, she's just quiet for the rest of the trip, y'all. So we finally get to the villa, and when we get to the villa, I'm sitting, I think I'm like in the kitchen, and I'm sitting at the dining table, and her room is next to the living room, y'all. And she calls her boyfriend, and I hear her, and she has her boyfriend on like FaceTime, y'all. And she's like, babe, you're not gonna believe what Asia did today. And I'm like, I'm listening, y'all. I didn't say anything. Her boyfriend's like, what she did. And he's like, she played too effing much. She told me today that we was getting kidnapped, and I almost had to beat somebody up. I had to hit our Uber driver. What? I was there the entire time. When did you hit the Uber driver? When did you hit the Uber driver? You never hit the Uber driver. And this is when I started to piece together that she was a pathological liar. Like, I knew you was a liar, but the way the lies just slipped off her tongue, y'all, It was like so easy. And it was to the point that she was lying in front of me. You always hear people tell little white little elephant lies, but you just told a bold-faced lie. So she comes out to the living room, and I'm like, why are you telling him that? If you gonna tell it, like, let me tell it. Like, tell it the right way. So he's like, what happened? What happened? And I'm like, I definitely was taking the joke too far. But the funniest part of the joke was that your girlfriend asked the driver, was he kidnapping us? Is he going the wrong way? If you know that somebody is really kidnapping you, you wouldn't notify him that you know that you getting kidnapped or whatever. So me and the boyfriend on the phone, well, she has the phone like on FaceTime, y'all, so he's speaking out loud. So we all just laughing about the situation, and she's going in detail telling him about the story about how I pranked her with the driver and how I play too much. And she's telling him that she hit the driver. She was about to beat the driver because he had her messed up. And I'm literally sitting in the kitchen, y'all, in the living room, and I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, like do I have amnesia? Like, am I not remembering this right? Like, she's telling a bold-faced lie in front of me to her man, and I'm literally at the table, and I'm like, where was I at during this? Like, I missed all of this. She tells her boyfriend that she swung on the driver. She told the driver to pull the car over. The driver pulled over, and she was on her way out the car. You never hopped out the car. I felt your mask beside me the entire time. None of this never happened, but she was telling the driver that. So that's when I started noticing, like, okay, no matter who around, she gonna lie even if you was present. Like, she's just a liar. And I'm telling y'all this part of the story because it makes so much sense. It was so much easier for me to believe what people was telling me just simply because of this or whatever. And this is another thing that I say. Some people have issues and they don't even realize that they're lying. Like, I don't even think she realized that she was lying, y'all. Like, the way she lied, it came too natural. Fast forward to the next day. I don't think anything crazy happened the next. My bad, y'all, my camera ended up dying. But yeah, so that happened that night, and now I'm knowing you a lie. Even if I was present, you a lie. Or whatever. Fast forward to the following day. I don't think anything important that I need to tell y'all happened this particular day. I think this was the day that we had like a whole bunch of spa treatment. We didn't really do much this day. I did forget to tell y'all or mention it. Well, if you watch the actual travel vlog that I posted at the time, you would know that I told y'all that I left all of my makeup. Like, literally, I think I left, the only thing I brought was my brushes. I brought my brushes, and I think I brought like one liner pencil, but my foundation, my concealer, like all my important like vital makeup to like set a foundation and set your face, I left all of that at home. So prior to the trip, I reached out to one of my clients. This is a client of mine that I think we went on 1 or 2 trips together in the past before. And I reached out to her, and I was just like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you buy my foundation, my concealers, my like brow pencils and stuff, and I'll reimburse you the money, because I didn't want to have to depend on using her makeup the entire time. When I found out that I left my makeup in the States, literally, I think when I was at the airport, y'all, it was too late. There was no going back. I didn't have time to like get my makeup. So I asked one of the girls, can they bring it to me? And keep in mind, y'all, this was a girl that I already previously knew. This wasn't a new client of mine. Moving forward at this part in the story time and for the rest of the story times, I'm not going to disclose who my clients are. So I won't be calling anybody by name. I'm just going to say client 1, client 2, or I'm just going to reference the client that I'm talking about. I don't want to disclose anybody's name, so I'm just gonna say client, y'all. So fast forward, I had told Warris already. I had already told her. I said, hey, one of my clients are gonna be coming over because she's dropping my makeup off, and I already told her that if she wanted to, she can stay with us for the night. So one of the clients was, let me think, when did the trip start? I want to say that the trip started on maybe like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like July the 3rd, and maybe one of the clients was flying in late, like maybe they were flying in like at 7 p.m. on July the 2nd, and instead of them buying a hotel room, I was just like, how about you come stay with me? Like, I didn't think I needed to consult with Warriors, I almost said her name. I didn't think I need to consult with her, y'all, just simply because she had her own room, her own space. Her room was on the opposite side of the villa of mine, so I didn't think I needed to consult with her. But I did tell her, I'm like, hey, what you call it, I'm just saying my client is gonna come stay with us tonight, and she's also dropping off my makeup, just to let you know, like, just heads up or whatever. So she was just like, what client, like, who is this or whatever, like, do you know her? And I was just like, oh yeah, me and this client went to Punta Cana together, and we also, I can't recall the other trip or if we did another trip together, but I'm just telling her like, oh, how I know the client or whatever. And this is when I started to notice that she was like very possessive over me. Like, she didn't like if I had a closer relationship with anybody than her. Like, she didn't like to be felt like an outsider, because she was asking me like so many questions about the client, asking me where the client was sleeping at, and she basically like was like, oh, we have a couch or whatever, why don't you just sleep in the couch? And I was just like, well, I have a king size bed, like, I don't mind her sleeping in the bed with me. And little stuff like that, y'all, at the time it was odd to me, but I didn't really harper on it too much. It was just like, I'm just answering her questions, y'all. I was very graceful with her. And please keep in mind, y'all, she has mental issues. Like, she has issues that she disclosed to me earlier, like later on after certain things transpired. She did disclose stuff to me. So I'm very graceful, because I know a lot of y'all are like, Asia, you a good one, because I would have been. But no, y'all, there's a time and a place for everything. And this is another reason why I was showing her so much grace, but we gonna get there. Anyway, fast forward, that night I end up I had a spa appointment, and y'all, when I say them people rubbed me down, like, I probably didn't have an orgasm, y'all. Them people really rubbed me down. Like, when they massage you in Indonesia, they massage your booty, your inner thigh, they massage all of you. Like, they massage your hair, your toe, they massage every piece of your body, y'all. I had one of the best massages. It was like a 2-hour massage, and literally, y'all, I fell asleep. And I was like dead tired. The people was like, ma'am, we're done. And I was asleep. I was dead tired. And Warris came up there because she was calling me and texting my phone. Like, so much time had passed by, and I was in them people's shop, and I was knocked out, y'all. And she came up there. She told me that she came up there. Now I don't know what to believe at this point, because we know she a liar. But she told me that she came up there, and that she was like, hey, it's my friend here, because the spa that I went to, it was like literally down the road from my villa. And she's like, hey, is my friend here? And she describes me, and the masseuse pulls the curtain back, and she's like, is this your friend? And she's like, oh yeah, she here. So she leaves or whatever, and she goes back to the villa. And then finally, when the people are able to woke me up, y'all, because I was really like, I was ODing, y'all. I was knocked out. Like, when it was time for me to leave, the shop was pretty much closed, y'all. Like, I was the last customer there, and they was literally just waiting for me to get my stuff, pay, and leave. I was knocked out. So I apologize to the people. When I wake up, I see that I got all of these like mixed calls and stuff from her, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, damn, like, so much time had passed by. And also, the client that I told y'all about that was supposed to be staying at our villa that night, she was coming into town that same exact night, y'all, and she was gonna be there in like 30 minutes. And I wanted to, like, you know, go home and like shower and make sure my space was tidied up before we invited her over. So I went back to the villa or whatever, and Warris is in there, and she was just like, oh my gosh, girl, I was so worried about you. I thought something happened to you. I went to the spa, and you was there knocked out, and I left, and like, I was just so worried about you. And when she said that, I was just like, my bad, like, you know, my bad. I did not realize that I was like knocked out that long. And I don't know how we got on the topic of her sexuality, but we were, this is how we got on the topic. I was explaining to her, I don't know what I said, but I said something along the lines of, when I woke up, I almost asked the people, like, do you want to marry me? Like, do you want to be my girl? Because they was massaging the hell out of me, like, you know, saying it in like a joking way, nothing to be taken serious, y'all. And she was like, you know, Asia, I thought you like girls. You give that vibe. You are the type of girl that like girls. And I was just like, what? I look like I like girls. And she's like, yeah, you look like you like girls. I honestly thought you like girls. And I was like, what about me gives I like girls? I'm very playful and goofy, but nothing about me gives that I like girls. And she was like, yeah, I thought you like girls. Like, I don't know what it is, but the way you look at me and the way you look like you like girls or whatever. And I was just, y'all, I was flabbergasted. My gasty was flabbered. I was just like, what? And I'm just laughing it off, y'all. And she was just like, yeah, I thought you like girls. And I'm like, no. And do you like girls? And she's like, yeah, I used to like girls. I really didn't start dating guys into my boyfriend. And she said she had a piece of that. We on YouTube, so I can't say the word, but she said she had a piece of that stick. And ever since then, she's been dating men. But she said that she was initially like into girls and dating girls. And I don't know if she classifies as bisexual or gay or whatever the term is, y'all. Non-binary, whatever it is. But at that time, y'all, that's when she told me that she was bisexual or she was interested in girls or whatever. And mind you, this entire week we have been taking showers together. Never knew none of this, never disclosed any of this, never got those vibes from her. I just saw it, like I said, that she was just a little mentally like unstable, and she would just say like just random stuff, but I didn't get that vibe. But she told me that night or whatever. And this is like after I had already taken a shower, and we're waiting for my client to come or whatever. And again, y'all, anytime she would tell me something that would just throw me off, I would just be like, all right, no deal, whatever. And keep in mind, anything that transpired during this part of the trip, I didn't put any of this on my notes. I was only going to be judging her off the things in her interactions with my clients, because I had already been training her and walking her through how to handle certain situations. And I was praying that maybe she just felt close and she felt a connection with me, that she was feeling comfortable to say certain things to me and disclose certain things to me. I didn't ever think in a million years that she was going to act this way around my clients. But yeah, fast forward, maybe like 10-15 minutes passed by, and it just happened to be pouring raining this night. And my client calls and she's like, Asia, I'm outside. And I was in the bathroom at the time. With Warris being my co-host on this trip, I'm telling her like, hey, the client is outside or whatever, like go like help her in or whatever. But y'all, she didn't do that. She didn't do that. She never got up or anything. And I'm like yelling from the bathroom, telling her this. And when I finally get out the bathroom, I go out there and I, greet my client, hug her, whatever, help her bring her bags in. And I introduced her to Warris. I'm like, Warris, this is my client, this is Warris or whatever. And Warris was very like standoffish. She didn't like say much. Like, she was super quiet. And this was abnormal for her because she talks a lot, y'all. She talks a lot. She's a very outgoing and talkative and social person. So the fact that the first client just got here and this is the type of interaction that you had with them, I knew instantly that she did not like this client. I just knew it. So I peep or whatever. Me and my client were talking for about, I don't know, we talked literally all night, y'all. We didn't go to sleep until like 3 a.m. in the morning. We were literally just talking. But when she first got into the door and I introduced them to each other, I think me and her was talking for maybe about 5 minutes. And then my client saw that Warris had the Louis Vuitton bag, and she seen like the bag like sitting on the counter or whatever. And my client was like, oh my gosh, I left my Louis. Like, I knew I should have brought my Louis. As soon as she started talking about the Louis bags, the bags and stuff, instantly my client, Warris, they started clicking. They started talking. So then she just starts talking. And I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe she just had one of those moments. Because keep in mind, y'all, she would have sporadic and crazy mood swings. Like, one moment she would be in happy spirits, and then the next moment she would have like a mug on her face, and I would just casually ask her, I'll be like, Warris, you good? Like, everything good? And she would be like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. And your outer appearance and your mannerisms are showing that you're not fine. But she would try to like act like it was crazy that she was asking her if she was okay. Keep that in mind, y'all. So after that, me and my client, we stayed up in the living room, and we were just talking, y'all. We were literally just catching up. I don't even know what we were talking about, but we was just talking. And at one point, it's probably like 1 a.m. in the morning, and Wars comes out of her room, and she goes to the bathroom, and she passes us, and she's like, y'all still up? Y'all are kind of loud. And I'm like, oh, my bad, like we gonna keep it down. And then we moved to our bedroom, and then I think my client, she took a shower, and literally, y'all, we went to bed. Fast forward to that next day. We wake up really early. I leave the client at the villa, and I grab my bags. Wars grab her bags, and we head to the villa that we're gonna be staying in for the week with the rest of the girls. We wanted to wake up really early just because we wanted to like set their rooms up, and then we also wanted to just drop our bags off. So I think we woke up probably at like 6, 7 a.m. and then we headed over to the new villa. The new villa was like an hour and 30 minutes away. And once we get there, it starts raining, y'all. It literally starts pouring down raining as we're like grabbing the bags and we're putting them in the house. And also, we have a lot of stuff with us. We have like liquor, decoration. I think I brought 3 bags alone. I think she had about 2 bags. So we had a lot of stuff with us, y'all. Keep in mind, her luggage was this Louis, it was this Louis duffel bag, y'all. Which is so funny because we gonna get there, y'all. She had this bag, and literally, like, I'm putting the key in the door, and as I'm putting the key in the door, she is like going off, like going flap off, y'all. She's just like, oh my gosh, hurry up, this is made with, I forgot the name of the type of leather that she said the bag was named with, but she was like, this is made with a special leather, this cannot get wet, it can't get wet. And I'm like, just looking like, hold up, hold up. But I'm not saying anything, y'all. I'm just peeping. I'm just peeping the vibe. This is another thing. Her moods was very sporadic. Like, she was just happy on the way driving to the villa, and then as soon as it started raining, she catches that attitude, and she's yelling towards me to like hurry up and open the door or whatever. And I said, I'm trying to figure out the key situation. And I finally opened the door. And when I go back out there, y'all, I'm picking up my bags and your bags. I'm not only going to pick up my bags because I don't want my bags to get wet. I'm picking up both of our bags. So I go out there, I'm picking up her bag. And then I also grab one of my bags. And then I'm like taking them back and forth to the house because the driver kind of dropped us off like directly in front of, we had 2 villas, y'all. And the door, he didn't drop us off like directly in front of it. He dropped us off maybe, it was like 2 yards from the door, y'all. So I go back out there, I grab the bags, and when I come back, I see she's only grabbing her bags. My bag is laid on its belly on the ground, and she's just grabbing her bags. And as she's grabbing her bag, she has her Louis Vuitton duffel, and then she has her suitcase, and she was just like, oh my gosh, this cannot get wet, it cannot get wet, oh my gosh, this is ruined. And then she stays in the house, and she's looking at her bag, she's looking for napkins to wipe her bag down, and I continue to bring in the rest of the bags. Like, that was another red flag. You're supposed to be on this trip as a worker. You're supposed to be servicing other people, and as soon as your bag get wet, this is just not a good precedent for the trip. Like, your bag get wet, you in the house wiping down your bag, and then I'm outside and I'm bringing in all the bags, and you're supposed to be helping me. But granted, y'all, I didn't know anything about the bags being made with special material and if the bag was really ruined. So if her bag was ruined, I was gonna give her moment. Didn't want to argue. I'm not a combative person, so when I see people popping off the side of their neck, I let them have it. Definitely on vacation, y'all. And keep in mind, I have a business mindset, y'all. I'm on a business trip. Yeah, this is vacation, but this is not a normal vacation. Y'all seen me do vacation story times in the past, and if you get rah-rah with me, I can get rah-rah back. If you want to go there, we can go there. But that's not my mindset on my business trip. This is not a regular trip where I'm on a trip with my girlfriends and one of my girlfriends acting rah-rah. This is supposed to be my potential business partner. You know what I mean? So this is not the time and the place for me to be matching energy. Like, that's just not me. When it's the time and it's the place, then I'm going to take you there. But this was not the time. So when she's doing all of this rah-rahness and talking about her bag, I let her have it, y'all. I let her have it. I call us another Grab, and we're literally on the way to the airport. And this was one of the worst trips to the airport, y'all, because it was just so much traffic this day. I don't know about, well, if you haven't been to Indonesia, the traffic is terrible. It's a beautiful country. I love the culture. I love the people. The only thing is I was not prepared for that much traffic. We're on our way to the airport. I'm updating the girls because most of the girls have already got there. We were supposed to be at the airport before they even land, but due to the traffic and the rain, it just really slowed us down, y'all. So we're on our way there. I'm writing the girls in the group chat, letting them know that we're on our way. When we get to the airport, I mingle, I introduce her to everybody, and at this time, y'all, I'm really oblivious to a lot of the stuff that was going on and the bad vibes that she was giving people. I was not like watching her like a hawk to like see how she was moving. Like later, that's when people end up telling me this happened, this happened, this happened. But at the time, y'all, I was oblivious to any weird vibes that she was doing or anything that she was like doing to people or whatever. So we meet at the airport. That first night is really just a chill night. All of my trips just begin with I think we do a game night, we do a dinner, and then I believe we had like a Balinese fire dance show that night. And then we were just all at the table trying to get acquainted, y'all. We were literally just chatting it up and playing games and stuff like that at the dinner table. At the end of the night, I want to say, when did we end? Let me look at my receipts. Let me look and see what time we ended, because I feel like we had like a late dinner. I think dinner, we didn't eat dinner until like 7 o'clock, but let me see. Let me just look really quick. It's a lot of videos. Oh, also, I'm gonna insert her pool right here, because remember I told y'all I paid for her to get her flower pool. If I didn't insert that earlier, I'm gonna insert it right here again. Okay, so the Balinese dance show was happening at 9:12. We're at the table getting acquainted, playing games by 10 o'clock. So I want to say like the night probably was over at maybe like 12 o'clock or whatever. I go in her room because keep in mind, during this trip we were sharing makeup. My client did bring me my foundation and she brought me like eyeliners, but she didn't bring me I have like really expensive setting powder. I have the Laura Mercier, and I think that powder is like $50. I was not buying that powder again, y'all. And if you have that powder, you know that powder it lasts years, y'all. So I wasn't buying that. It was like certain makeup products that I did not want to have two of because it's expensive. I just got my main makeup, which was my foundation and my liners and stuff, and even that was like $100, y'all. So certain items I still needed to use of hers. At the end of the night, I'm checking in with her. Mind you, this is the first trip that she's hosting. She doesn't have any experience, and I started to notice that she has like mood swings, and she also struggles with anxiety, so she can get overstimulated. So I asked her like, oh, are you good? How was your first day or whatever? She was just like, yeah, this is easy. I got this. Like, I definitely can do this. Like, I got this. I'm good. I'm completely fine or whatever. And I'm in her room and I'm just gathering like some of my makeup, because my makeup will be like at her vanity station, y'all. And I go to my room and she ends up texting me and she's telling me that I have something in mind in her. Let me back up. This video getting kind of long. I'm not gonna do y'all yet. I'm not gonna do y'all yet. Okay, but that first y'all, that first night, one of my clients, this is not the client that stayed with me, this is another client. One of my clients, their key broke off in their door. They tried to open their room door and the key broke, and all of the rooms had their own keys, and it was way past the time that the concierge people were working. I think they got off work like at 6 o'clock, and when the key broke, I want to say it was well past 6. It probably was like 8 o'clock at night, because I remember it was dark outside, and they came to me and it was just like, Asia, like, we locked out of our room, our key broke. And when they told me this, I was just like, if you want, y'all can sleep in my room or whatever. One of y'all can sleep with me. Maybe the other one of y'all can take the couch. They was not comfortable with that. So I'm brainstorming. I'm trying to figure out what can we do. So I came up with the conclusion, me and Wars, we literally just live together. We literally just lived together for the past week, so it's not gonna hurt me just to live with her for one more day, because we had a 10-bedroom villa and it was split in half. Like, one house had 6 bedrooms and the other house had 4 bedrooms, so we weren't like in close proximity to each other at this time. When the second week that we were there, she had her own room in a whole nother villa on the opposite side of me, and I had my own space, y'all. So when that situation happened, I came to her and I was just like, okay, this client broke her key, she don't have nowhere to sleep tonight, I'm gonna give her your room and you can come sleep with me tonight. You would think, y'all, because this is what she's there for, this is why she's my co-host, your only job is to be of a service to them. That's why you're there. You're not on this lavish trip out the country and you're getting a free trip for you to just be wah, 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 wah. This is not that type of trip. You're here to work. Like, this is what you're here for. So when I tell her this, y'all, she looks at me and she's like, what? They broke their room key. You can't call concierge and ask them for another key? I said I already did, but she told me that she won't be able to bring it into the morning. So she looks at me and she's like, all right, they gonna have to sleep on my sheets? They gonna have to sleep on my sheets? And I'm like, I can ask them to bring extra sheets tomorrow, because we had like a cleaning service every day. They like change our sheets or like straighten our bed up. I'm like, I can ask them to bring you new sheets tomorrow, but yeah, they're gonna sleep in your bed tonight. So she's just like, oh my gosh, I just settled all my stuff in here. And she's completely bummed out and got an attitude about that I'm asking her to come sleep in my room. Not because I wanted to, y'all, not because I wanted to sleep up under her, but simply because this happened. Like, you are here to be a service provider. Why are you mad because they need somewhere to sleep or whatever? Because like I said, I already offered one of them to come sleep in the bed with me or sleep on the couch. They didn't want to do that. So I'm trying to find a solution. So she catches an attitude about that. And I don't know if the girls peeped it, because at this point I was just like, I made a joke. I said something along the lines of, I've been with her for a week, one more day is not gonna hurt me or whatever. So they probably like peeped that she was already like saying like smart remarks in the room, like she did not want them to have her room or whatever. So I grabbed her bags, I helped her move her stuff over to me, and we're in my room, y'all. And I give the other girls her room key and tell them they can sleep here for the night. And the next morning, the housekeeper will be there with a new key. And we took care of the issue. So while we're in my room, y'all, and I just got out the shower and I'm putting on lotion and stuff and I'm getting ready to get in bed. And she's like, how do you feel? How do you feel about the girls? And I didn't really know what to say, y'all, because no one has ever like propositioned me like this or asked me a question that was just, okay, y'all, my SD card is full, so I do have to wrap this part up. But where was I think I told y'all she propositioned me and she asked me, how do I feel about the girls and how do I feel about the clients? And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't feel any type of way about them. I don't know them. This is like my 8th or 9th trip at this point, y'all, and on any trip, none of my previous co-hosts have asked me, how do I feel about the girls? How do I feel about people? These are people that I don't personally know, and I'm not there to judge. I'm just there to provide a service, and we're there to have a good time. Like, why are you asking me how do I feel about them? And at this point, I completely don't trust her, y'all. So anything that I say, I know she's liable to repeat. So I'm very careful with my words when I'm around her. So I'm just like, I don't feel any type of way. Like, what do you mean? And she's basically testing the waters at this point to see what she can say around me and what she can't say around me. And she's like, oh, how do you feel about client 1? And client 1 is the client that stayed at my hotel room, my first villa, the first night. Like I told y'all, she was not fond of client 1 at all. But that should be neither here or there, because you're getting paid and you're here to work. That's the only thing that's memorable that stuck out to me that night. That was just like, you already trying to start something before this. This is day uno, y'all. This is day 1 of the official trip, y'all. So we end up going to sleep. Fast forward to that next day, she gets her room back. The clients, they switched to their room. The next day was pretty much a chill day. I think we had lunch outside the house, but we don't have any extraneous activities this day. This is pretty much a chill day. On day 3, that's when it gets popping, y'all. On day 3, let me see what we had. I think this was the day that we had a ATV tour, and then we had something else. It was, I think, an ATV tour. We had a dinner reservation, and then we also was going to the club later on that night. And like I said, I already peeped that she was not fond of client 1. And it just showed in her mannerisms, like when client 1 would speak or when she would say anything, she never wanted to like answer any of her questions. She would just be making faces, or she would just basically like get quiet around her. Like when anybody else talked, she would talk, but when it came to that client, she would not talk around that client or anything. Like she would just be kind of like real quiet around that client. She did not like that client. Fast forward to later to that day, we had an excursion. The appointment was set at 1, but we didn't end up doing the excursion until like maybe like 2 o'clock. Like the people was like holding us up and making us wait for like the group or whatever. This was the day that we were doing like this ATV cave excursion, and it was like a 3 to 4 hour excursion. And there was an instructor at the place basically going over like the rules, going over this waiver form, telling us like if we damage anything, like basically, you know, anytime before you do an excursion of ATV or zip lining or anything, y'all know they tell you have to sign a waiver. Basically they're not responsible if you die. That's essentially what the waiver was saying, y'all. And at the time, Wars is my co-host, and they wanted all of us to sign the waiver, and we were already behind on time. Like our excursion was supposed to start like 30 minutes ago. So instead of me having all the girls sign the waiver, I was just like, Wars, how about you sign everybody's name? I gave her my phone with my notes, and it had everybody's name on it. So she signed everybody's name, and I told her to do this just to make the process go by quicker. While we're still waiting there, the instructor for the tour, she's talking, going through rules and stuff, and Wars is standing right here, y'all. The instructor is standing right here. My client is sitting, I think she's sitting like 1 seat beside me, y'all. And Wars has the waiver form in her hand, and she's signing everybody's name, and she's getting ready to hand it to the instructor. And the client 1 is just like, hey, Wars, let me see the paper. I want to see what I'm signing. Like I could be signing my life away, which you was, but she said that she wanted to know what she was signing because she just wanted to know what she was signing. Like before she signed anything, she says that she reads all the small fonts, the details, she reads everything. So she's asking her like, hey, let me see it. And like I said, y'all, she has borderline personality disorder. She's acting like as if she doesn't hear the client. Like she's basically totally disregarding the client asking, can they see the waiver form? She's just like, yes, y'all, the client is right here. She started looking over here. And the client is not whispering. I hear the client say, hey, let me see the form before you sign my name. I just want to know what I'm signing. Wars, she looking over here. She's like this. So the client says it again. She's like, hey, Wars, let me see the paper. I just want to know what I'm signing. And then it's that one point where she has the form in her hand and she's trying to like fake hand it to the client, but then fake hand it to the instructor. She goes like this, like she's going like this. Like you can literally see her in her mind thinking like she's struggling to make a decision, y'all. She's like this. And then she hands it to the instructor. Like she pushes it more towards the instructor. And then the client, it was just like, let me see the form. What the fuck? Let me see the form. And we gonna end it right here. Like and comment and get this video to 2K, 3K likes for part 5 coming in a few days.